Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Gibson Show, where today we are talking to a current Major Champion LikEfac. EFAC, welcome in. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing good, thanks. It's good to get you on because, you know, you've not really been playing in the tier 1 level for very long, but you've already had a massive impact since you've joined BDS. You've won a Major. I think you won the Japan Invitational, and you've won EUL. You've tasted nothing but success so far, and I'm pretty sure you're looking forward to the next one as well with SI around the corner.
Of course. Well, I'm waiting for this event a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. So before, we'll get started. We'll talk about your career so far. So you first kind of came onto my radar last year when you were playing for 321 Sked. Your stats in French Nats, I think, were otherworldly. 2 KD, 2 kills per round. I haven't seen anything like that before, and I don't think we will again. How much did playing in French Nats on that 321 Sked team, enable you to be the player you are today?
I worked hard with my friends. I mean, the most important thing that we're in a 321 Sked is that I was playing with my friends for 3 years ago. So we're ready for this event, and play French League was a good first experience for me and for all my friends. So yeah, we work hard for this. We were prepared for more than French League. That's why we were really good, and we only lost against Wolves, so that's not that bad.
Yeah, it was a funny one because you played so well for 321 Sked. The roster qualified for CL, and then you got the call up to BDS, so you had to move to, bigger and better things. The 321 Sked roster, they had to make a couple of changes because obviously there's not very many like-for-like players out there that they were able to get who would have the same impact that you did. So we'll talk a bit about that move to BDS. So obviously you're a French player, so teams like BDS and Wolves are probably the ones that you really wanted to join, being from France. When did you start getting a bit of an idea that BDS wanted to pick you up? And, what was that whole process like of joining the org?
So to know, I got other offer, not only for BGS, like on the 22 August. So on this period, I knew it that I will go play it for T1 team, but I did not know if it was BGS or someone else. But of course, like you said, I wanted to play for French org. Or, I mean, it's Sweden, but they are French player, and we are playing for the France. So I wanted to go there, and I waiting patiently to get an offer from them, and I got it. So I practiced one time with the guy, and I got instantly pick. So I was really happy, and BDS. I come instantly to the gaming house in Sweden, and they are really like a family. Team BDS are really like a family, so it was easy to go and to be comfortable.
Yeah, because I actually had the chance to meet the BDS players before they made the roster change out in the Gamers 8 event, and I just started to get the vibe that the BDS roster had finally started to live up to the hype. That roster, Shaco in there, Ranchiro in there. These are guys that people for a long time were expecting them to go and do big things. And then you joined, and all of a sudden everything has changed. They dominated the last split. You look at EUL, that was one. As I said, that the Japan Invitational and the Major. And you had a big part to do with that because a lot of people didn't quite know that you walked straight in from a tier 3 role to a co-IGL role on one of the biggest orgs in the world. What was it like, and is that responsibility you wanted to take from the off, or is that something BDS were like, hey, we've seen what you've done in the past, we'd like to see what you'd be like in a co-IGL role?
So it was my choice because they told me, like, you come from T3 team, you don't have that much experience, so do your best. And I said that my best is when I'm IGL or co-IGL with LM, and that's what we did, and it works perfectly. And for the how to say, the atmosphere, the vibes in the team, because we are making a lot of joke, even it's in match, like you can see in the AOL final, and that's why we are laughing in round and things like that, but still playing seriously, of course.
Yeah, because the big question around BDS was always, was Shaco as well? Was he going to get his major? Was Shaco finally going to get that big tier 1 event? You come in and, as I said, change everything. But what I loved about the fact, or what I love about BDS now, is it's not just individuals anymore. As a team, you've got a lot to deal with. As I like to point out, based on your stats, it's like, oh yeah, they kill Shaco in a round. You still got to deal with EFAC. You still got to deal with the Lems. You still got to deal with Brede and Renshiro. It's a very good roster from top to bottom. So the question I kind of have is, when you won the major, you could see in a couple players' eyes, Brede in particular, how much it meant to them. Do you think that it meant as much to you because it was your first one, or do you think that you were looking at them guys going, this has been years in the working for them?
Yeah, I was really happy for them. Like, I'm a BGS fan before 100 BGS, because I'm French, so of course I'm supporting the French team, and to see them win and like Brede, LM, and crying, it was beautiful. Like, I was more happy for them than for me. So yeah.
So we'll talk a bit about more about you then. So obviously we spoke about the tier 3 stats. You joined in the middle of, you joined stage 3, you put up really good numbers there as well. But outside of Siege, what sort of things do you do? So for people who want to get to know EFAC a bit better, what's important to you outside of Siege? Because I know at the tier 1 level, it is very tough. You have a lot of practice, a lot of scrims, a lot of VOD reviews. So how do you kind of stay happy and healthy, everything outside of esports?
Outside of esports. So for me, to see friends, to see family, it's a really important thing. So I go out often. Like, if I'm not going out, I'm streaming right now, so you can see, but I will go out often. I take time with family, with friends, and I do sports. Sport is important. Like, almost every day. Sometimes I'm too tired, around kids. But sports and family and friends. That's the key for me.
Yeah, I think most people kind of realize that, having that network as the sport of your family and friends, and then sports, something outside of, being around the desk that can just kind of take your mind off things for a while. I really like that. So let's talk a bit about the impact that you've had at tier 1. So in the last 2 stages in Europe, we've seen 2 players, coming in, one player, a complete rookie, just edged in and Spoit, and they win a major at Koi or Rogue. Then you come in stage 3 and repeat the feat with BDS. Who to you is that next tier 3 or, up and coming player that in stage 1 next year could have an impact if they're picked up?
It's a hard question. For me, will be my ex-teammates, Deadshots. If he come to tier 1, he will win a major. I'm 100% sure. But you have to pick. So tier 1 team, listen, pick Deadshots. But I don't know if it will be the next season. But if someone like a young tier 3 player come in, will be all scared. Like, when it was Spoit, we said, okay, it's Spoit, but he win a major. When it's LikEfac, he said, okay, it's LikEfac, but he win a major. So next one, every team will be scared.
Because when I was covering Challenger League, one of the things the demo kept calling Deadshot was a disciple of EFAC. He's coming from your kind of style of play, and I think he grew into the role as Challenger League progressed. I think that roster, the 3-2-1 SCAD roster that obviously got picked up, I think what I liked about what they did was they didn't try to replace you directly. They moved players into different roles. They kind of tried to fill it, and I think overall, considering the scenario, they did pretty good. In Challenger League. What were your, if you watched Challenger League, were you happy with how 3-2-1 SCAD were able to bounce back after you left, and what do you think the future holds for them?
Yes, I was happy for them because they got a lot of issue. Like Revan leave the roster in the middle of a playoff, and Isaac can't play that much because he have to work. But yeah, I was happy, and mostly for Deadshot, for Reikos, and for Cactus. I know that they are working hard and they deserve the top they got. But I'm a little bit disappointed because I expected to go first or second, but shit happened.
Yeah, look, Challenger League though as a whole was really fun to watch. I think Unlimited surprised absolutely everybody with the way they played. Well, everybody who didn't know about Unlimited, I think, were surprised. Obviously, you've got the heartbreak for the 10-star roster. They had a great year.
Yeah.
But I said, bigger and better things from you. And as those teams get prepared for, working out whatever 2023 is going to hold for Tier 2 and Tier 3, you've got 6 Invitational in just over 6 weeks' time. You're going to be flying to Montreal. You're going to be playing against the best in the world. How are you feeling about playing in an Invitational compared to playing in a major?
It's like the dream. Major is it's also a dream, but 6 Invitational it's the dream. Like when you're a Rainbow Six player, you want to go to 6, even if it's not if you aren't a player, but you want to go there. So for me, it's a dream, and I'm sure I will have fun and do my best and play against the better team in the world right now. So.
And do you think there's a bit of a target on BDS's back now, considering how successful the last couple of months have been?
Can you repeat?
Do you think there's any added pressure for BDS, considering how you just won a major and how well the last stage went?
I think no, because there is experienced player in Team BDS, not me, but the other, and I think they know how to deal with it. I'm a player without pressure. Like I just put off my shoes when I go to the stage, play like I'm in my home, so I don't feel any pressure.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same for the team, and no, it will the issue will not be the pressure.
So we'll talk a bit about the other teams going to SI. So obviously we've got the closed qualifiers coming up in the next month, and in EU, we've got 4 pretty good teams. You've got Makers, who are looking to do the impossible again and qualify for SI for a second time as a Tier 2 team, which is incredible. You've got Navi, who I think also made an incredible rookie pickup over the course of last year by picking in leader. You've got a very good side in Secret, who've changed, they've brought in a new coach, they've changed their roster as well. And then finally, you've got our other roster, the almost ex-Empire roster now going to run it back. What are your thoughts on those 4 teams? And if you have a favourite to qualify for SI out of those 4, who do you think it is?
It's a great question because I like Makers. I play a lot against Makers. Secrets, I love the guy in playing in Secret, like Navi. And VP, it's the ex-Empire, it's the Legends. But I would say it's Secret or Navi.
Yeah?
Yeah, so, Secret or Navi.
See, I think either one of those rosters would be a really cool one, I think, for a lot of people who watch to qualify too, because, people like myself and Whippet, we've seen players like Savage and Leader coming through the Tier 3 scene as well. We'd love to see them make their way up to a major stage. So then you got NA. And NA is in a pretty similar scenario again. You've got Reality TV, the Tier 2 side, that are in the mix. TSM and SSG, 2 former SI, the last 2 Invitational champions. And then you have Mirage. Looking at the NA side of things, who do you think is the favourite there to qualify through?
So I have chance to play against SSG in group phase in Major. They play very well. They got unlucky. We got lucky. It was just about it. And I talk a lot with TSM guy and the new change also with Gasher and Snake. So for NA, I expect TSM or SSG.
Yeah. So finally, then we'll look at the teams in SI, the ones that have qualified already. Obviously, we've got some very strong European sides. You guys are in there. Wolves are in there. You've got Koi taking part and G2. looking at NA, you know, we've got the likes of the Sonics roster, who Super just announced yesterday that he's going to be playing for. Who would you be really excited to play against at an Invitational? Are there any teams that you've never played against before, but you really want to test yourself against?
So I already said to everyone, but FaZe, like I'm fan of FaZe, of the player, of the how they play. So FaZe. There is a W7M. I already played them 2 times, but I love the guy also, and I want to take my revenge. And the last team I want to play, it's Koi.
Yeah.
Koi also hard defense on the stage 3, so it's time to take our revenge.
I like it. What about CAG? Are CAG a team that you want to play against, or is their style of play just too crazy that you want to avoid them if you can?
Okay, which team?
Cyclops CAG from EFAC.
Oh yeah, Cyclops. I went to Japan and we talk about a lot with the guy, and they are lovely people. So yeah, the playstyle they play, it's crazy playstyle. I love to see it. But yeah, I never play against this kind of playstyle. It will be interesting if we play them for sure.
I'm excited. Like, I'm going to SI as a fan, so I'm really hoping to see as many EU teams qualifying through as possible. You know, you guys, Wolves have kind of, you know yourself as a French Siege player, they always do so well in groups, but when it comes to the playoffs, it never really goes for them. But all in all, you spoke about the teams that you think are going to be you want to play against. Are there any teams you're maybe worried about playing? Like, is there any teams out there or players out there that you think you don't really want to come against, especially in the earlier stages?
Not really. Like we go to the 6 to win the 6. So if we are scared about team, we won't win the 6. So no, we play everyone, and right now I'm not scared of playing a team, especially.
Yeah. Okay, so we're kind of coming to the end of the interview, so there's a few more little things I want to ask you before we wrap up. And one is, as we keep talking about, your stats in tier 3 were incredible. You've made the jump to tier 1 now. You're playing very well for BDS. From a personal growth perspective, you're still really, young in your career. There's a lot of improvement and things that you're going to be able to do over a short period of time. Is there anything that you've identified as something you really want to improve on in 2023?
Like we can improve on everything. I don't have a specific thing, or I'm here to see new thing to do in attack or in defense, and usually I expect me to be better in like aim, thing like that. So no, can't everything. I expect me to be better on every point.
Then other question is, I speak to Fresh a lot, and as you know, Fresh likes to call you the GOAT. You know what? He says he's you're his GOAT. What do you think about getting support like that from tier 1 talent? People like Fresh, who a lot of people respect.
Fresh is my GOAT as well. Like his analysis, it's perfect. I told him that he was my GOAT as well. So yeah, it's really kind, and I'm like I want to improve more when I see this kind of thing. So thanks a lot.
Yeah. And now, last but not least, and this is the one that's going to put you on the spot a little bit. So obviously there was rumors a while back about, well, not rumors, there was talked in the open about the fact there was supposed to be a Siege World Cup. And then I was kind of thinking, well, even if you can't do the Siege World Cup anymore because it's not on the schedule, if there was a Siege Euros, like if there was a tournament that was the Euros for Siege, and you had to pick a French side to play, who do you think would be the key players on your team? Because look, obviously it's a tough question. You play for BDS, they're all French. Ideally you'd like to say you'd like to keep your teammates, but Team France would be a tough pick, wouldn't it? Because arguably there's 13, 14 French players right now who easily could make a French 5-stack.
Yeah. So without BDS,
I'll let you pick one BDS player, including yourself. So 2 BDS and then 3 others. That's what we'll do. Put you on the
Okay.
spot more.
So my first pick will be Bride.
Mm-hmm.
Bride is the best teammate you can have in a team. Like even if you go in a not bad team, but
Mm-hmm.
with difficulty, he can make this good. So
Mm-hmm.
Bride for sure. As an entry, I will take the shots. Like I said, he will win a major in few years or few months. I don't know, but he will. So Deadshot, LikEfac, Bride.
Mm-hmm.
I will pick Bibou.
Mm-hmm.
Bibou is one of the legend of Rainbow Six, so of course I will pick Bibou. And as a last, who can I pick? I will pick Mowgli.
Mm-hmm.
Mowgli, really talent player. If he play with good support and play that, he can be the goat.
Yeah. I like it. So Bride, yourself, Deadshot, Mowgli, and Bibu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That'd be a horrible roster to play against. I'll tell you that. So I think, look, that's 20 minutes. So I think that's a pretty good interview that we've just done. If anyone's watching, make sure to give EFAC a follow on Twitter. It's LikEfac or 6S, if I'm not wrong. So make sure to give him a follow on Twitter. Make sure to give BDS a little bit of love on Twitter as well if you haven't already. What can I say? I hope that the success continues for you. It's been incredible seeing how you've jumped from tier 3 to tier 1. SI is coming up around the corner. As a viewer, as a fan, I'm not going to be there to the playoffs, so you better get it. You better be playing in playoffs. I want to see you guys do well over in Montreal.
Thank you very much. I hope I will.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I will. Thank you.
Right, well, thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to give a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you all the next time.